What's good, y'all, man? We are on episode 12. Episode 12. Yep. Episode 12 of the Twill podcast. Thank you for being here. If you're tuning in. Yeah, man. I'm just like, it's cool, bruh. I'm just like, a lot of good things are happening in terms of life. And, one of the things now I'm trying to do, 1 second. I don't know why it's not working. One of the things I'm trying to do now is like, work on other areas, like I'm saying, like obviously I'm working on things like, even though I'm saying life is good, like those things that are good, I'm gonna still work on them, but I'm gonna focus a little bit more on some other things that are kind of lacking behind, because I want everything to, kind of rise up together. That makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Sometimes I just be yapping. In my head, it makes sense. And then when my mouth starts saying it, it don't make sense. But hope all y'all doing good, blessed. Maybe there's something good that's going on in your life. And if not, what I'm saying, I'm praying for you. Regardless, we want everyone to succeed over here on my side. But yeah, man. Say it's April 12th. I'm not recording this on Thursday, bruh. I'm recording this the day the podcast is coming out. So this is all fresh. I'm recording this at 8:17 a.m. And the podcast comes out at 10. So right when I finish it, I'm going to be I'm going to be editing and stuff. Although I don't really be editing that much, but y'all need to know that for real. Ignore that part. But for real, let's get up into it, man. We're going to start today. Talk about Zion Williamson stalker. Zion, bruh, he's got a very interesting track record when it comes to women that he's associated himself with since being in the league. Which really sucks, because I'm not saying, actually, I will say this: women can destroy your empire, kings, but it also be vice versa. Queens, a king can or not king, a man can destroy your empire, queens. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to basketball or like just sports in general, it's so common to see like a woman mess up a man's career and like just cause so much drama for him, things that are just so unnecessary. And that's what's really happening with Zion Stalker. This woman came, I don't know the exact details on it, but apparently she attacked, I think it was his baby mom. Like they were at the crib and she attacked her and like beat her and stuff and like did a bunch of things. But obviously the woman got arrested and stuff. But it's like, I want to know how she got inside the house. And why are women like obsessed with Zion? I guess it's his money. I don't know. I don't really understand. Especially with the fact that she came inside and hurt his baby mom. Like, what did she do to deserve this, like, abuse? I'm pretty sure she was just chilling, not worried about nobody, and then now she got attacked. But, yeah, Zion is not really doing too hot with these women. Mariah Mills was going on that rant about him and stuff. That was a whole other thing in itself, too. That was just so weird. And I don't even understand. I think his agent is his mom, if I'm not mistaken. So like, where is his mom at? Like like his mom needs to be like Jada Daniels' mom. Like, his Jada Daniels' mom don't play. Like, she talking about, you can't be around this woman, no women. We worry about football in school. Well, now just football and like this, if a woman does come in his life, which recently we saw Jaden Daniels with Juju Smith, Juju Watkins. They were hanging out at one of the games during March Madness. But Jaden Daniels' mom was cool with that. So, you know what I'm saying? She's regulating what type of women are in his life, and she's regulating his whole life in general, which is good, if you can't have an agent, why not have your mom? You know what I'm saying? Your mom always know better. Lamar Jackson's mom is his agent, So I'm pretty sure Zion's mom is his agent. But she need to take some notes, because Zion's getting paid, so I guess that's the only big thing. But like, all that can collapse and get ruined by just one rumor, one thing, on one allegation. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say it because of YouTube and stuff, but that one allegation can just change everything. It's because of the women you hang around with, the people you hang around with. They can cause things like that to happen. And then even if you didn't do it, but just because you hang around those people, now you're in trouble. So this is another thing on his view, considering that this man had the Mariah Mills thing, injury prone, he doesn't lose weight, a bunch of things, which he actually lost weight this season, so I'm not even gonna like knock him about that, but there's just a lot of bad things stacking up on his career for a guy who's supposed to be the face of the NBA, if you really think about it. Zion, I don't think, Wemby is the most recent hype prospect when he came out. But before him, it was Zion, bro. Like, everyone's talking about Zion since high school, man. Like, this man had been hyped up. I want a quick sponsor to my sponsor for this video. Quick sponsor. A quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. See, that's what I'm talking about. My brain is going faster than my mouth. But water, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you drink your water. Especially it's getting hot now. So if you do sports, make sure you drink your water. In general, make sure you drink water. We don't need no one with heat flashes, heat strokes, whatever. But yeah, this Zion thing, man, he just need to lock in, man. I when he plays and like there's nothing going on in the news about him or anything, he's a very exciting player. So I think he just needs to lock in for real. But yeah, that's what we got going for that. The next thing, I got a question for y'all, but I'm going to talk about it still in general. But it's the topic of, would you bail your children out of jail? Now, for me personally, growing up, my mom always used to warn me, like, you could do whatever you want. She always say, like, you could do whatever you want. But if you go to jail, you are on your own. And I just, that was enough for me. You know, when I heard that, I was like, I'm not doing nothing. You talking about I'm alone? Like, I'm going to have to sit in there? Because, you know, I think some people, now probably not the number one thing on their mind, but when they commit a crime or they do something wrong, they're like, oh, it's all right. I'm going to get bailed out. You know, like moms and dad, somebody going to get me out. But if you have the idea in your mind or you know, like no one's going to get you out, I think that would deter you so much from not wanting to commit crimes. Because then you're going to be like, oh, well, not only am I in trouble, but now I can't even go home. I got to stay in here while I wait to get, like, you know, my trial and stuff. Like, nah, bro. Nah. Me personally, I would do it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm such a, because it doesn't, the concept is like, if I don't bail you out, it's teaching you like, all right, well, one, it's teaching you beforehand, like, let me not do nothing stupid, because now I know, like, I'm not getting bailed out, you know? She said that before I went to jail, and I've never went to jail. Let me clear that. I've never been to jail. I've never been arrested. But, what's it called? You know, that's the first thing. It puts it into your mind, like, all right, let me not do nothing dumb that would get me locked up, because now I know I'm on my own. Like, I'm not going to get out. My parents are going to bail me out. Then, two, where was I going with this? Well, not bailing your kids. Oh, two, you know, if you bail your kids out, it makes them think like, oh, I'm cool. I can do whatever. You know, mom and dad, they going to get me out. It's all right. I can do this because they going to get me out. Or, man, you know, just feel like their conscience is going to think like they can get away with a lot more or do a lot more because mom and dad are going to come save them. And that doesn't even have to do anything with prison. That's just life in general. Like, any child, when you give them that, like, not scapegoat, that easy way out, you know, thing, they're going to be like, well, they can do a lot more because at least this is going to happen. Or I can say this because my dad and my mom are not going to let me, you know. It's just like it's a way that makes your kids less disciplined, you know. There's no discipline there because now they can just do whatever they want. They just do a lot. They can do whatever they want because they know that it's all right. Mom and dad gonna save me. You know, I'm not saying that as a parent you shouldn't save your kids and take care of them, but there's got to be some like boundary. And I think the boundary for our parents, like my mom always said this. She was like, I'll help you with anything as long as you tell me the truth. So there that goes too. Like, you know, say I did get arrested, maybe she would bail me out if I told her the truth. Like, oh, mom, I did this, or mom, I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, she'll probably help me out there. But for me personally, I guess what I just said, you know, like if they tell me the truth of what they did and like I'm talking about the whole story. Like, oh, I better not go to court and like new stuff pops out because I'm going to be mad. But like, if you tell me the whole truth, whatever I need to know, I will go and I'll bail you out and I'll get you the best lawyer. But that's only the first time. If you go back to jail again, no, you're going to stay in there. You're going to think about it. You know what I'm saying? That's probably the type of parent I'd be growing up. The type of parent I'd be going forward. And obviously, it might change down the line because I'm not planning to be a parent no time soon. But one of the things I think I'm going to do is like, you get a first freebie. You know, if you didn't know no better, or like is your first time doing something, you get a first freebie. Now it depends on the offense, obviously. There's certain things I'm like, nah, you got to get disciplined. But, you get a freebie for a lot of things for the first time. I'm going to warn you, tell you that you can't do that, especially if I didn't tell you. Like, I'm going to warn you and like let you know like what you did wrong. And then that's boom, now you know. And I saved you. But if you do it again, especially if it's worse or recently after I told you, nah. You're going, hey, it's only one strike out here. This is not baseball. You got to learn the hard way at this point. Because sometimes some people got to learn. You got to know your child too. That's another thing. But some people learn the hard way, bro. And unfortunately, if one of my kids are like that, then that's just how it's going to be. And I ain't going to lie, I'm probably going to have a hard-headed kid because I was pretty hard-headed growing up. But that's neither here nor there, man. I think overall I was a pretty good kid, though. So, when I say hard-headed, I'm just mean like I'm very stubborn and I like to rebuttal a lot. I'm a very argumentative person. I've tried to reduce that now later in my years. But, sometimes you just do your thing. All right, so that was me. Let me know in the comments for real, man. Would you bail your kid out? And if you say yes or no, say why. I'm saying put it in the comments. I know nobody gonna put it in the comments, but I'm just practicing for later down the line. And when this podcast blow up, and I'm going on my rant again. When this podcast blow up, I don't want nobody for real, to act like you was a day one, because I have the receipts. And I have the comments off. I don't know why the comment section has been turned off. My last couple of videos, I'm going to turn it on. But the only people that have really commented on my thing is Anthony, who has the same birthday as me. Shout out to you, Anthony Safo. And then my mom. I don't think anyone else has really commented on there. Maybe, I don't know. I think there's someone else. If I missed you, I'm sorry for real. But yeah, that's just, that's just how it goes. But anyways, there's going to be a quick episode because I have a track meet today, but it's at home, so we don't have to travel far. That's why I was like, man, I'll just record it today, I guess. But the next thing we're going to talk about, Luka Doncic and his return to Dallas, man. Now, if you haven't been watching basketball, stuff like that, one of the biggest trades in like just sports, I'm not going to say in sports history. Well, maybe depending on how this goes and like how many rings like Luka ends up winning or how his career ends up going, it might be one of the biggest trades in sports history. But it was the biggest trade in basketball in a while because, in any sport, you don't really trade a star away, let alone a young superstar. Like I'm talking about, I think Luka's been in the league for 6 years now, 6 or 7 years. And he's been an all-NBA player all those years except one. So if he's been in there 6 years, he's been all-NBA 5 times. He's been there 7 years, he's been all-NBA 6 times. And it's not like second team or third team. He's been all-NBA first team. So he's like a top 5 player in the year since he's been in the league. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's young. Luka's only 26, I think, 26, 27. I think his birthday just passed, so I think he's 26. You don't trade a star like, like for example, the Angels didn't trade Shohei Ohtani, but they let him go because they sold the bag. They didn't build a team around them. They sold. The Angels sold. But you don't just trade Shohei Ohtani. You don't just trade a Michael Jordan. You don't trade a Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? You don't even trade LeBron James. Like he left teams on his own. It wasn't like they traded him. You don't trade those type of players. You don't trade a Brady. But that's literally what happened. They traded Luka to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, bro. And ever since he's been on this team, like we were already playing good before we got him. Don't get me wrong, because we had traded for Dorian Finney-Smith, who's been, as much as I love the Luka Doncic trade, we cannot deny the fact that DFS has also been a great pickup for us. This man has been balling. He's been playing so good. But we're not talking about him today. I love you, DFS stuff. But ever since Luka's been here, he's been just tremendously hooping. Let me just look this up real quick. Let's look up Luka's stats since joining the Lakers. Since joining the Lakers, he's averaged 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. It's 27 games. He's shooting 42% from the floor, which is, for a guard, that's not bad. Obviously you want to be closer, like 46% or something, but that's cool. And he's shooting 36% from 3. But look at this, bro. 28, 8, and 8 in 27 games. That is absolutely absurd. That is ridiculous. I don't even know. That is just so crazy to me. But yeah, he's really changed the atmosphere, and it makes it easier for LeBron now to, you have a second honestly, you have 3 ball handlers on the court now. The Lakers, that's the one thing the Lakers have done. We have a lot of ball handlers now. Like LeBron doesn't have to have the ball like dribbling, every possession now. You got Luka, you got Reeves, who's also stepped up into a very huge role. Even Gabe Vincent, I miss Max Christie a lot. We traded him to get Luka, and obviously Anthony Davis too. But Luka has been balling for the Lakers. He's been doing his thing. But let's talk about the return. Obviously, when a player means a lot to the city, when they return to that city, they'll do a dedication video. And that's what they did, a little memory video for Luka. And he cried because if you didn't know, he really didn't want to leave the Mavericks. Like, that was his team. He was going to be like, he wanted to be a Maverick for life. It was kind of rare to see that kind of loyalty in sports, let alone the NBA in general. And he wanted to stay there for life, but they traded him, obviously. So he was very emotional. And LeBron went and hugged him and stuff, let him know. And then after he was crying, he proceeded to drop 42 points on their heads. Wait, let me make sure. I don't want to misquote nothing. Let's see. I just look up Luka's stats. What the heck? He dropped 45. He dropped 45, 8, and 6 with 4 steals. He shot 70% from 3 and over 50% from the field. Yeah, he was hooping. That's all. He was hooping. That boy was balling. And he didn't even showboat that game. He was just doing it and then just got off the court, bruh. And I just, you feel for a player. He gave his city his all. Literally last year they were in the championship. No, yeah, they're in the finals. So like, I don't really understand. Really, like, their reason for trading him was that he was out of shape or something. But clearly he's not out of shape. I don't know who told him that, what it was or whatever, but he is just absolutely destroying the league. He destroyed the Mavericks. He destroyed the Rockets last night. He dropped like 38 last night, I believe. He's just, wow, I can't wait to see the Lakers play in the playoffs. They are just, they cooking, man. And it's all thanks to Luka, man. It's all thanks to Luka. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's see. It's time to talk about track, man. Oh, let me get a good little stretch. Hold on. Actually, let me do something real quick too. You see, y'all on my time. I could just really sit here for like 10 minutes. I mean, y'all probably click off the video, but I could really just sit here for 10 minutes and y'all just have to sit here and watch. You know what I'm saying? Type. All right, but let's talk about tracks, bruh. Let's talk about it. So last week we were at UC San Diego. It was a 2-day meet. I've been having like hamstring tightness a little bit every once in a while. But with the 200, I'm just gonna get this out the way. The 200, I ran terrible. I ran 22.8. But people that were at the meet or people that saw my time, they literally called me or texted me. They asked me like, what was wrong? And they didn't even say, like, they just asked me like, oh, what's wrong? They already knew like that wasn't me. So they just immediately assumed that something bothered me, something caused that. And they were right. I had some hamstring problems. I don't know. That day was just like bad. It was like type of tightness. And when I tried to get out the blocks in the 200, I just couldn't push out. I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't accelerate or nothing. So it was just bad. Yeah. And then what's it called? Then the next day I was mad. I was hot. I can't even lie. I was mad. So it was a 2-day meet. The 200 was on day 1. And then day 2, I had the 400 and the 4x4. Man, I was mad. I was praying to God. I was stretching. I was doing everything I possibly could to try to get through these hammy problems, because I was like, I can't, I got to do something. I got to, let's just go do something. I went and I did something, bro. I went and I PR'd in the 400. I ran 46.68. 46.68, bruh. I'm so hyped. Oh my goodness, that's a time. I dropped the time, man. And then later that day, we had a 4x4. My team PR'd. We ran 3:13. So we're still second in the state, but we're like barely off now. And today we're gonna go out there, and I'm gonna do everything I possibly can to help us win. Not forget winning. I don't even care about winning. We just need a PR. We could get last place, but if we PR, that's all that matters. But obviously, I don't want to lose either. But we need a PR. We need to get this time down because conference is coming up in 2 weeks or something like that. But we obviously are going. My team's going to state, but you know what I'm saying. We gotta do some things, bruh. But yeah, I went in the 4x4 and I ran a 45-7 split. 45. So I ran 46-6. And I almost ran a whole second faster pretty much in my split for the 4x4. I don't know what surged me. Well, I know what surged me is a little anger trying to get my get back, but mainly it was the Lord. You know what I'm saying? I prayed before I ran that 400 and I was like, God, just take the fear out of my heart and then let me not worry about these hamstrings. Just let me run and use the talent that you give me and just take over. And he did that. He took over. I ran 46-6 and then 47-5. Wait, no, 45-7. I was like, wait a second. But it was fun, man. And then people always ask me, like, when I PR, they're like, how did it feel? And I just, like, sometimes I can't lie. Like, I can't answer that. I don't know how to explain it. Like, for me, when I PR, it doesn't feel like I ran good at all. It don't feel like I did good at all. And I was a little clock watching on that 400. I looked and I was like about like right at the 50 mark. I was close. I think I was like a 50 or 60 marks. I only had like 40 meters left to go. I see it said 42, 43. I was like, oh, I can get there. And in my mind, I was like, bro, pump them arms. Come on, get there. And I leaned at the line, you know what I'm saying? And then I looked and I saw the time. I was like, let's go. I was so hyped, man. But today we're going to be at our home turf. We're going to be at Cerritos, man. You know, it's not really a big meet, but you can't really be worried about stuff like that. You just got to go out there and execute. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to knock that 200 time down. I got to get revenge on this too. I'm running the 2 today. I'm running the 4x1, 2, and 4x4. I'm getting revenge on that 2 today because, what's it called? We're going crazy, man. Going crazy. My personal best this season, or my just PR in general, was 21-7. So I'm got to run 21-5 or better, and I'm gonna get out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting out, and I'm just sliding. I'm sliding. I'm gonna go get there. Because realistically, if we're thinking about this, I'm running 46 now. I should be running 20. Really thinking about it. So I just gotta go and just blam when the gun go off. Just blam. Just get on that curve, hold that curve, then slingshot off and just start stepping when I get on that straight. So you know, I'm really excited for that. We gonna see how it goes, man. We gonna see how it goes for real. But that was just a little track update. Oh, and I'm back to number 1 for the 400. Just so y'all know. Let's throw that out there. But let's get to it now. The last segment of today. It's gonna be the questions, man. I got 2 people that drop questions. All right, first question is from my boy Joe. He said, did you shock yourself this season? And that's a great question because, I mean, the season's not over yet, so I guess there's still more in store if there's anything left out there. I guess me really being shocked will be state. But let me say this. My answer is actually no. I didn't shock myself this season. And let me tell you why. I want to try to say this as humbly as I possibly can. So Lord, guide my tongue to say this the right way. But the reason why I'm not shocked about myself this season is because it was in there this whole time. Like this potential, these times, this execution, this was all in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like I wasn't supposed to do this. Like, this is something that people have seen in me. Like, when I was at Vanguard, my coach was telling me like, oh, you could be fast. When I was in high school, my coach was telling me, you could be fast. I had teammates telling me, you could do this. You're talented. You know, you're all this, that. And I just wasn't locked in. I wasn't, working. When you have tools, you got to use them or else they're going to get dull. And I had the tools. I just wasn't using them. So they got dull. So, nah, I'm really not shocked. These are things that, like, it was supposed to be like this. I'm running, and something that our coach said this year was like, all of y'all have potential, but that don't mean nothing if you don't unlock it. And I think that's what's just happening right now before my eyes, before everybody. Like, I'm unlocking my potential. This is who I'm supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I came in as if I came in as running like 52 or something and I was doing this, then yeah, I'd be shocked. But I came in running 49.0, and that 49.0 was 2 years ago that I ran. But I really could have ran faster than that 2 years ago, to be honest. Like, I feel like, how do I say this? I feel like where I'm at right now is great. I'm happy, but I feel like I could have already been here, if that makes sense. You know? And I'm not, I'm grateful for where I'm at. I'm grateful for the times I did, but I'm not really shocked about myself. I'm honestly just like, all right, okay. You were supposed to be doing this, man. Shout out to you, Joe, for that question. Now, boy, Ethan dropped a couple questions. I think I'm gonna choose 2 of them. So we'll start with this one. It says, what do you think is essential to being financially and spiritually successful? I got one word for you, man. I really got one word for you. Discipline. I think you need discipline. And that's not even just for these 2 categories. It's for everything. But when you're disciplined, it's so easy to not make wrong decisions. It's so easy to not, do what you're not supposed to do. Wait. Oh my God, I said it's so easy to do what you're not supposed to do. It's so easy to not do what you're not supposed to do. But you know what I'm saying, with discipline, like, I'll go with the money part first. Financial discipline. Say like, all right, I'm trying to save up to get a car, right? And the car is like $5,500, right? You work a job, you get like $700 per paycheck, you get paid bi-weekly, so you're making $1,400 a month. Each check, maybe take $250 out. You know what I'm saying? Set a certain amount of money, but each month or each time that check comes, you have to take that same amount out, no matter what. Unless obviously some crazy financial hardship or something comes up. But it shouldn't be for nothing like, oh, I'm gonna go do this, or that, or like pay for these shoes that I don't really need, or like go just start splurging on food. You know what I'm saying? Like, that money got to go straight to that savings account, wherever you're gonna put it for that car. And it also goes with spending habits. You don't have to, and I used to do this a lot. Like, you don't have to spend money every time you get it. Like that, just because you have money don't mean you got to spend it. And some people, you might be a spender trying to show off. You don't got to show, who cares? Like, think about this. You're going to have like 2 weeks or less of you spending this stuff. And then you're going to have no money. And now people are going to be like, man, do this. Or you wanted to do something really fun and you can't because you don't got money. Now you got to ask people for money. Now you're in debt. And now you're in trouble. So yeah, discipline for that. You just got to learn how to set money. You got to set money aside. Whether you're saving for a house, car, whatever, or just saving in general, I don't know the exact statistic, but it says something about like most Americans don't even have $1,000 saved, or not most, but it's a good chunk. They don't even have $1,000 saved. So break that for yourself and have $1,000 saved. You never know. An emergency fund is so essential. When things go wrong, instead of you pulling money from your actual account, you have money set aside. So now it doesn't really hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Obviously you're losing money, but it's not really destroying your world because you're not losing money when you already don't have much money to begin with. You know what I'm saying? When you have money for saved, it's better. So that's how I say, just discipline for that. And for a spiritual success, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Don't hang around people that are not good for you. Don't be around areas that are not good for you. You always should be surrounded by like-minded people. So as a Christian, why would you hang out around strippers? I don't know. That's just a random example. And I'm not saying strippers are bad people, but like, is that really for you? You know what I'm saying? Is that what God wants you? Is that part of your God walk? Everyone does. You don't have to hang around everybody because everybody hang around you. You should be around individuals that have the same traits, characteristics, mindsets, beliefs as you. You know what I'm saying? Don't be going out. Like, I use an example yesterday in my Bible study. You up at the club at 2 a.m. Why don't you just be up at 2? If you're up at 2 a.m., why don't you just be in prayer in the word or something? Like, obviously you're up at that late for a reason. So give it to God. Like, dedicate your time to him. But yeah, both of those, you require discipline. You got to sit there and think about what you're supposed to do. The right thing, not the bad thing. And if you need to, think about the bad things first. So you're like, all right, I don't want that. Write a list, pros and cons of what happens if you don't stay disciplined in those things. For example, financial discipline. I spend my money all the time. The con, I'm broke. I can't handle things that I need to handle. The pros, if I save my money, I have financial freedom. Financial freedom is so good. Oh my goodness. And the day when I achieve it, I'm going to be so happy, because to know and wake up in the morning that you could just be like, oh, I'm going to go do this because I can, because I have the money. It's not going to affect me. Or I could go, oh, someone you need 250. You know, that's all right. Take the 250. You may pay me back. You may not, but it's okay. Cause I'm cool. I know where I know where I am with the money. And for spirituality, the pros, I'm disciplined in Christ. You know, I read my word every day. I pray every day. Okay. I'm building a stronger connection with the Lord. So now when trouble arises, I don't really have to worry about like, oh, I'm stuck, or what do I do? Because you already read your word, so you're equipped with the knowledge to handle certain situations. And then you pray to God, so you already have that open hotline communication. You can ask him for help and what else he needs. The cons of you not being disciplined in spirituality is, oh, I want to hang out with people that just do drugs all day, or they don't even work. They're just doing bad things. And now the con is you do the same thing. You on drugs all day. You're not disciplined. You stop reading your word. You stop praying, because now you live in the life of the world. You live in the worldly life. You don't need to be doing that, especially if you're a Christian. But that is how I would go with that. And then before I get to the last question, my fault, y'all. All right. The last question, man. Oh my goodness, my phone is glitching. Last question about my boy Ethan. He said best soul food dish. Now, when you say this, do you mean like just a particular like appetizer? Not appetizer. Like a side dish? Or are you talking about like a whole plate setup? Because I could do a whole plate setup and I could do the best side dish. So I'm going to do both. And I'm going to do the plate first, and then I'll name my favorite side dish. So the best soul food plate. This is what I would have on my plate if I'm eating soul food. See, I would say some chicken, like fried chicken, but I'm actually not going with that today. I need some smothered pork chops. Give me some smothered pork chops. It can be smothered or it could be fried, but I'm going to just say smothered pork chops for today. Oh my goodness. Elite. Then I'm going to need some greens, some nice green. We need mustard greens, mustard greens, collard green together right there next to the smothered pork chops. All right. Then on the other, right next to my greens, I'm going to need a nice healthy slice of cornbread. So we got smothered pork chops, greens, cornbread. Dang, I'm going to sound big when I say this. Then I'm going to need some yams right there. Oh my goodness. Give me some yams right there on the plate too. So I got 3 sides right now. We'll just do one more side with the smothered pork chops. Although I have so many other things in my mind. We'll just go mac and cheese. No, you can't go wrong with mac. You can't go wrong with mac. That's a solid plate right there. If you know, you know. You got smothered pork chops, greens, cornbread, yams, and mac. I could eat that every day. I ain't gonna lie to you, I could eat that every day. And then honorable mention, because it can be a side, but it also be its own dish. But red beans and rice with some smoked sausage, that is such a good eat right there. With some cornbread too. Oh my goodness. I keep mentioning cornbread, so y'all probably think that's going to be my main thing. And it's not. But I did name it already. And it's them yams, bro. Oh my goodness. If you can make delicious yams, hit me up. Actually, don't even hit me up, because my mom makes delicious yams. So I'm not even worried about that for real. But yeah, man. Them yams, they just, they do something. I could just sit there and eat yams. Might even cap. Might even gonna cap. But yeah, thank y'all. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you, Joe, for dropping the questions. Y'all could drop questions. I'm gonna answer them for real. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you drop them when I post it. So thank you for that, for real. And then we're gonna end up today with the verse of the episode. It comes from Galatians. Wait, my fault. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to I couldn't see it for a second. It comes from Galatians 5:13, and it says, "Be free. Do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love. That's Galatians 5:13. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, share this with your family, your friends, your dog, your cat. It don't really matter. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.